There is an app that kind of is useful for some, not for everybody, but Dragon Dictation, where you just open it up, you speak the text that you want to say, and it could be, 2 words, it could be 2 sentences, it could be 3 paragraphs. And then you have the option whether you want to send it to somebody, and it's pretty good in terms of recognizing your voice and getting all the words down. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. And so, and then it'll give you an option whether you want to send it by email, you want to send it by Twitter, you want to send it to Facebook. So that's just one other app if you just want to not deal with a keyboard. We have actually a guest presenter here, so I'm going to let him talk about the advanced apps that he uses. And his name is Rad Mazon. He's my colleague, and here he is. Hey everybody, how's it going?
Great, but I wanted to ask, are you going to do any physical manipulation or is this from your phone?
We're gonna do, I have my phone out. I was gonna show Foursquare in a little bit. That was one of the ones I planned on. She was wondering if I'm gonna show any apps physically. So I'll show that one.
Sorry, let's track my phone for a second.
There may be time to show a couple of other apps, but
Yeah, we'll see how much time we have.
we're going to generally hold up the questions until the end of the session.
Well, it sounded like they were talking about a computer and I mean, at one point, it was
Applications.
iPhone, and then he was
Yeah, so basically,
The question is about whether all these apps can be on computers or iPhones.
no, it was actually as though she was talking about a phone, he was talking about a computer.
no, I think so a lot of the apps, except for the GPS apps, a lot of them have online components. So they might have a website, but then they also have an iPhone app. Usually they have both.
I understand that, but he didn't make it clear. Which one? Okay, you were talking about Dragon. Were you talking about your phone or on the computer?
So Dragon exists, or existed first
I've
on,
only seen it on the computer.
right. So it's the same text prediction algorithms and all that good stuff that you know from Dragon on the computer. And they've encapsulated it onto an app that you can take with you and put on your phone. And it basically sends your recorded message to their servers. So it uses the same Dragon software that you're aware of that you can now take with you portably. And sometimes, the reason why it's still relevant is because Siri is a work in progress. And sometimes this works better.
Okay.
Okay. Excuse me. Yeah, if you would please hold your questions and comments till our question time, that would be really appreciated, just so we can get through things and have time to demonstrate some of the apps.
Yeah, see, the difficulty with these things is that you never have time to show anyone the ins and outs of every particular app, otherwise you show one. So we're going to run through a couple of quick things while we're on the subject of productivity. There are a lot of competitors, but I still love using Dropbox. Dropbox is a great thing. If you don't have it, you should. It's cloud storage, meaning that you can save your files to the magical cloud, the computer in the sky. And they'll be available on any PC that you have, or Mac or whatever, in a folder. So you don't have to do anything, you don't have to work with any applications. You just put stuff in a folder, and boom, it shows up everywhere. The iPhone app is awesome because you have all these different things available to you on the go. So they could be documents, they could be music, they could be whatever you want. We're talking about productivity, so let's say documents. And there are basic text editing functions. You're not going to be able to work out your PowerPoints or finish an Excel spreadsheet, but you can do that anyway. So Dropbox is cool. Also, a paid app that supplements Dropbox's functionality, which I like, is Save to Dropbox, which allows you to take email attachments and downloadable links from the web and save them directly into Dropbox. Pretty easy to use and works like a charm. So back to navigation for a moment, if I could. I I understand we're gonna check out Foursquare in a second, but I also like, and this was a hard fought battle for me, because I normally am not a big fan of apps with the word blind in the title. I just think it's cookie. But Blind Square has turned me around. I don't know if this is on your to-do list.
Yeah, I know, I agree. I didn't even want to look at
I
it.
wanted to hate it. I desperately wanted to hate it. Oh, another app with the name Blind. So what Blind Square does is it uses Foursquare data. For those who don't know, Foursquare is a service that allows you to viciously judge places. Or favorably judge them, but mostly people are evil on there. So it helps because you're able to look up locations, see what's around you, look at what people are saying about that place. And one of the cooler things about it is that some places will even give you stuff for using it. Like B&H Photo Video up on 34th, gigantic tech store. It's they'll be like, oh, you're using Foursquare and you checked in. That's cool. That means you're telling people about us by using the service. So here's some free stuff.
Well, also, can I just back up for 1 second? Because it's also kind of a way to just keep track of where you've been. I use it as a travel log. I travel a little bit, and so if I'm in California and I find a really awesome coffee shop that I want to return to, I check in on Foursquare and then I know where I've been. And it's also it's a great way of figuring out what's around you. I moved a few months ago, and that's the first thing I did was go on Foursquare and see what types of businesses were around there. So it's really useful that way.
Yeah, I didn't think of that because I'm a hermit. But some of the folly, some of the difficulty in using some of these apps while you're on the go, especially for users who are just adopting the touch screen, is now you're outside and you've got your $600 phone out, and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this here. And now you got your phone out and your cane somewhere awkwardly crooked in your elbow. What Blind Square allows you to do is set some parameters. What are the kinds of things you want to hear about? Do you want to hear about stores? Do you want to hear about businesses? Office buildings, which is boring. Whatever it is, I won't judge. I will, but later. You can tell it to tell you about all those things that you're passing. And it'll do that. It'll also do route navigation, meaning if you want to go find a good place to eat, you can find it using Foursquare data. Tell the app to start telling you how to get there, and it'll do that in a number of ways. It'll tell you either by street crossings or by relative distance thereto in compass location. So it'll say it's 200 feet to your right, which, depending on your proficiency with navigating the city or your comfort level, might work for you, and you might want to use the other method. But it gives you the option, which is cool. And the cool thing about it, or the coolest thing about it, is that you get to drop your phone in your pocket and either wear a headphone or wear a Bluetooth headset. And it's like a cute-sounding British brand that's walking with you and telling you where stuff is. And now your phone's away, and you're aware, and it's a good deal. So, there. It is a paid app. It's about 10 or 12 bucks. I've seen it fluctuate. Sometimes it'll go on sale and go down to like $6. If it does, snap it up and do it. The other app that came out at a whopping 15 bucks and recently went free because of how successful it has been and how well it's been adopted is an app called Flexi. Flexi uses predictive typing algorithms, which is nerd for it'll help you type stuff. So this is especially useful for people who are aware of the challenges of typing out long-form emails or anything of the sort on these devices. Not great. Even if you're an accurate typist, still not great. There's still some latency issues between voiceover and all that good stuff. So what Flexi does is allow you to type using these predictive typing algorithms, and I can demonstrate this a lot faster than I can describe it. So we're just going to turn on Flexi, and it's loading. And keep ready. And it just occurred to me that maybe you guys aren't at the same. Better. So, instead of going through the standard iOS keyboard, what you do is you activate this keyboard and you just tap your finger where you would normally find the key. And what it means by predictive text is that it takes what you're doing and goes, oh, H-E-R-T-O. I'm sure you mean hello. So H-E-L-L-O. E-R-Y-O-N-E.
It's guessing where, based on, it's a spatial kind of recognition, so it's guessing where he's putting his finger, and it's figuring out where on the keyboard he must be trying to type. So that, because does it even display any kind of keyboard at all?
Yes.
Okay.
Does it kind of learn as it goes when it gets used to some of the things you typically type?
Yes, and it also allows you to enter custom values into the dictionary. So for example, my lady's name is Nefertiti. That's not a common name. So anytime I tried to type it, it'd be like, huh? So after entering it into the dictionary, it now knows what I'm talking about.
This has actually gotten a lot of attention in the sighted world as well, just because it was designed for blind people, but a lot of people are trying it. It's got some reviews and some big time.
Yeah, it's getting a lot of attention. There's this whole movement to get it included as one of the standard keyboards on phones. And it just got released on Android as well, and since so many people gave them money, they're like, here, have it for free. And everyone who paid the money is like, I'm sorry, what? So early adopters like myself were like, yeah, glad I helped you guys out. But so now I typed out this message, and
Hello everyone, I am not even looking at my phone as I type this.
that's himself on Nexstar. So you can take that and you can copy it, copy and clear, email. But I haven't added the hashtag CZJackie13. All right, perhaps later. So that's great because you can really get into some long form typing should the need arise and you happen not to have a Bluetooth keyboard or whatever method works best for you around.